Right, hello. First time I've done a video for a long time, 3 or 4 weeks I think. I'm ready to start on the refret on my Les Paul. Now, I'm going to show you the jig I've made. I've got it all jigged up at the moment. The problem with these frets, they've been glued in on this guitar. So I'm just setting my dials to 0. I'll show my jig in a minute. Just set my dials to 0. Right, that's good. So on this guitar, I'm going to take the camera off its stand in a minute. I'm going to show you how I've got it all jigged up. I'm going to show you how I remove the frets. Now, I'll get the camera now. Just bear with me. And there you can see, there's the guitar all jigged up. Now the jig I've built, you know all about me building the jig because I've been on about it all over the website. These steel rods are the supports. These are all tightened up. So this neck is dead straight. The dials are all zeroed out. That's a tiny bit off, that's nothing to worry about. This strap will go on an eye bolt through this beam when I get it fitted. I ain't done it yet. And also here I'm going to have a jacking device which is going to be made from one of these jobbies. I've got to get the threaded insert in here, and I'm going to put a brass plate in there on the wood here because it's something to bite into. I'm going to drill some tiny grooves in there, so then we can use that kind of affair to tighten that end up. That'll be on an eye bolt. You see here, these straps I've adapted today because they were way long and they had 2 S clips on. So I've shortened them. I've shortened these cables. These are all super glued now. I don't know if you can see it there, here and here. So that's my jig. It's a brilliant contraption, invention, design. I wanted a plate on mine, which I've got here. These feet are brilliant. It's rock solid. It's not moving at all. That guitar is not going to move. Now, we don't need to put it on a jig to fret it, but we do need it on a jig to level the frets. So I've got my magging neck is absolutely level. I'll just show you that. There you go. I've already checked it today. My neck is absolutely level, and that was with the strings on. When I took the strings off, it didn't move, even though I could alter a truss rod if I want to. So now that neck is absolutely straight. So now I'm going about removing the frets. Now I've removed some, but what I'm concerned about here is, look at the glue residue here. That one took some getting out. I had to pull it out. It didn't come out too easy, so there's a couple of chips in there I've got to fill in. Well, that was already there, I think, when I got the guitars. I've got to fill that in. I'll clean all these slots out. Now what I'm doing is, because these have been glued in, they're quite bad frets, I'm heating. I'm going to put this camera back on here. I'm heating the frets up with a soldering iron. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to show you where I'm at with this. I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to show you how I remove the frets. So, to remove the frets, I've got a nice 40 watt soldering iron here. And what I'm going to do is, I heat these up. What this is going to do is, it's going to melt the glue underneath. So I'm going to get some heat on there. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. This is how I remove the frets without making a mess and without cracking the wood or splitting anything. So I'm going to heat this up. Now what you do notice on this guitar, it's got binding down both sides of the neck. Now this is a pain, it can be a pain when we're refretting. So what we do is, we take the edges off the tang on the fret. If you see here, see it? I've got some tang nibblers to do that. This is why this is a much more long-winded job than doing a regular guitar. Like Steve's guitar will be easy, it's got no binding on it. So if you see there, I've heated that fret, should be nice and warm now. I've got my fret pullers here. pull straight out, look. Here's my fret pullers. They're about £6 I think. They've been ground, the end's been ground flat. So I can get right in and right under. So that's it, so I'm going to blob on, we're removing these frets. Once that's done, get some ink on there. Once it's done, I'm going to sand down this fretboard, take all this residue glue off on here before I put the new frets in. So I'll just take a sanding beam, I'll take a radius sanding beam, and I'll use some fine sandpaper, and I'll just go all across the whole fretboard. Once that's done, I'll get something inside these grooves to clear all the crap out. I'll get a blower on it, blow over here, right, so it'll be nice and clean before I put the new frets in. Now when I put the new frets in, I was going to glue them. I'm not going to glue them in on mine. I'm just going to stick them straight in because the old should be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, that's about it for now. I'm just going to remove this fret. It should be nice and warm. Put the fret pullers on there again. This should come straight. We should come straight out. No, it's not hot enough yet. A bit more heat on there. When we come to pouring them in, all we do is we get them in where they need to be, and we use a caul on this drill press just to press them in. Pull it down, it'll just press them straight in. They should just sit straight in, nice and tight. If we do need glue, I've bought some new epoxy. I bought some quick setting epoxy which I'll use in the groove. I need a little bit. These have been over glued, these have. So that should be hot enough. We should be able to get it straight out now. There you go. Yeah, she wasn't that hot. Problem with these frets is they're really low. I think it could have had a fret job before, a bad one by the looks of it. So basically, that's what I'm doing this afternoon. Get these warm, get them removed. Once this is done, I've sanded this down and cleared all the slots. I can look at getting my frets in. This should take a few hours. From start to finish, I'd say probably, this is the first time I've done it on one of these guitars. I'd say I'll give myself 8 hours to do this, but I won't do it all in one run. What I'll do is I'll have a few hours on it today and a few hours on it tomorrow, once I've got my MOT done tomorrow. Oh, it's getting warm. So, there you go, easy. So, I'll leave that, I'll take the video off for a bit and I'll come back and I'll show you an update later. Right, I'm back. I've got all them frets out. It took me, not long, about 10 minutes, probably 10-15 minutes. Now if you see, there's a lot of glue residue here, and I've got this, I've got a tin of this here. I'm not going to be using it. It's, I don't know if you can see it there. It's tar and glue remover. It's a big fat tin. I got it off a lad works at Quick Fit or something like that. Makes mine. Anyway, I tried some of that to clean these up, and the thing is, it needs to soak in to melt, and it's going to take the binding away and stuff. So I'm not going to use that. What I've decided to do is, I'm going to go with a cloth, and I'm going to stick with my soldering iron. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to melt the glue off. I've already done 2 frets here. I've done that one and that one. And once I've done that, I've got to clear out these slots. I don't want to widen the slots anymore. I want to clear them out. So what I do is I just go in with a Stanley blade. Just make sure the groove is free. And once I know the groove's free, see, look, there's no glue on that no more, no glue on that. There's a bit left on there, and it's all on all these frets. Once I've removed all the glue, or what glue I can from all these frets here, then I'll go across with a sanding block and I'll just level off this rosewood. I'll make it all smooth. So show you this melts really quickly. I don't want to burn the wood, so I don't want to be faffing about. I'll just show you how I go on with it. Once you start getting smoke, you want to move. For this. Okay, it's melting the glue straight away, look. That's burning the glue off. I'll just go straight on with a cloth. That's virtually all that glue off that groove now gone. I don't go too close to the edge because I don't want to be burning the binding, but look at it. That's beautiful. That's the glue off here now, most of it. There's a couple of little bits here. This will all sand down really, really nice. And once I've done that, I go in again with a knife. Now I've got to be careful because I don't want to cut through the binding. Like I say, Steve's guitar doesn't have any binding, so we can come straight off the edge here. I doubt Steve's frets are glued in as well. Surprised these are glued in, they're not normally glued in. Maybe someone did a refret on this at some other time and he glued them all in. Which means I've got to get it all out. But it's a bit laborious, but it's fun. It can be done. You just got to take your time. You don't be slipping with any knives or anything. But you just take your time, get it all cleaned up. Because you get it all cleaned up and set proper now, it's going to stand you in good stead in the future. I mean, once I've got this refretted, it's going to last. So I'm going to glob on, do the same thing, one fret at a time. Taking this glue off. Once I've sanded all, it looks a little bit messy here. It will do because of the burnt glue. That once all this glue's off and I've sanded that, you'll never even know. I've took an eye into this. It'll look beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run across. Look, it's burning that glue straight off. This, and it's not burning the wood. It will burn the binding. I'll just give it a rub, take off any excess glue, and that's it. Virtually all the glue is virtually gone off there. So that's it. Now when it comes to doing Steve's guitar, I don't have to use a blade because I've actually got fret saws that go in these grooves, and what I'll do is to clean them out, all I do is I'll just give it a pull, because if you only cut when they pull towards you, I'll just give it a pull and I'll just rake any crap out of there, because it wants a nice clean place to reseat frets. So that's it. So I'm going to get on with this. I just wanted to show you how I'm going to get on with these frets. And that's it. I will get back to you later. Right, so I've done this. This is ready for refretting already. I've been no longer than an hour on this. I've got all the glue off here. I actually melted it off with my soldering iron, and I've rubbed it with a cloth. What I'm going to do in a minute though is obviously I'm going to sand this down before I do anything else, make sure it's all level, all the residue glue's off. There's a couple, it's not burn marks, it is just, what do you call it? It's where the glue's burnt a little bit, it's a little bit darker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that tar and glue removing gunk I've got. I'm going to saturate this in it, not saturate it, but I'm going to wet it a fair old bit. It does dry in the air anyway, it evaporates. But what that will do is it can melt any residue I've got. It can make it easier to sand. And then I'm just going to I'm going to fine sand this, just a couple of passes, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. The dials have not moved at all. It means its neck is still absolutely straight. It's perfect, it's brilliant. It's gone a lot easier than I thought it would. I'm really, really pleased. So what I'm going to do, once I've got it sanded, I can then show you how I'm going to refret it. I'm going to get on with refretting it. This will be done. If I'd started this morning, it'd be done now. I reckon I'd do this in a day. I'm really, really pleased with it. I just need to clean up these frets. I've cleaned all the slots out. Obviously I'll go again. I've noticed here, there's a hole there. Now what I normally do to fill a hole like this, which is what I'm going to do on Steve's guitar when I get round to it, is whenever there is sanding, the dust I collect from the sanding, the wood off of wood, I collect and I mix it with a little bit of glue until it's a good consistency, because then you just drop it in the hole and you just drop fill it. So when we do it, it can be invisible once it's dry. So hopefully I'm going to get enough dust to do that. If not, I'll go and get a piece of rosewood from somewhere, or I'll get another piece of wood, I'll file it, I'll make some dust, and I'll colour it until I get the right colour. You're not going to see it once it's done anyway. But all these frets were glued in, so I'd say this has had a refret job before, a not brilliant one, because there's glue residue on every single one. You don't normally glue the frets in, unless Vintage do that with frets. I'm going to get a try and not glue the frets in. I'm going to refret it. I'm going to hope that the tangs are wide enough for it to just hold itself in. If it looks like I'm going to have any trouble, I'll put a little dab of epoxy just in the slot there. I'll put one, well, I won't put it in the middle, I'll put one at each end. And I'm sure we're going to hold in fine. So that's it then. This is ready, more or less. Well, I'm going to get sanding and that'll be it. This is all I'm going to do on video today. Stay well and I'll talk to you soon.